Hey there, everyone. It's Aaron Hughes from FuDog Group. Yeah, I can see that this video is still not looking 100% perfect yet. I look like an old-timey photograph. That's all right. If you don't like it, skip the video, watch something else instead. But I've got some great insight for you today. So we have an event coming up at FuDog Group called Author Power, and it is based on the processes and systems and strategies that I have built over the years writing hundreds and hundreds of books. I'm not exaggerating. I've written that many books. You see, before Food Dog Group, I was a copywriter. And before I was a copywriter, I was a ghostwriter, which means I wrote books for people who had lots of information, but didn't have the time or the skill set or whatever to turn it into a book. So they'd give me a whole bunch of information, and then I would gather it and I'd sift it and sort it and turn it into a book for them. And along the way, I've written three of my own books as well. The Sales Funnel Bible, which is all about sales funnels for businesses. The Real Estate Investing Copywriter's Playbook, which is a step-by-step marketing book for real estate investors. And then my latest book is the Master Execution System, which is all about productivity for leaders and teams. All right, so I know a thing or two about writing a book, and that's what I'll be teaching at FuDog Group's Author Power event happening in January, January 10th to 12th. In fact, if you're watching this, there's only a few days left to sign up. If you're interested, you can go to foodoggroup.com/authorpower to learn more. Okay, but here is what I want to talk about in this video. Maybe you want to write a book, or you've been thinking about it, and you're wondering where to start, what to do, how to get it going, or maybe you've already started and you want to figure out how to restart it and keep it going. And what I'm going to share with you works really well for business books because that's what I have focused on. In theory, it should work for fiction books too, but as a disclaimer, I don't write fiction. I've never written fiction, so it's up to you to see if you can make it work if you are writing a fictional book. But business books or nonfiction, this will work for things like autobiographies, any kind of book that you're using for your business. That's what I can do, and that's what we're talking about at Author Power. So here is how to write those types of books. You see, when people sit down to write them, they sort of plan out the chapters, which is good. You should do that. You should have an idea of your chapters. And let's say they think of, 12, 15, 18 chapters or so. And then most people try to write one chapter, usually chapter one. They just start writing chapter one. And that's actually not a great way to do it. It's really hard to do that. You might get chapter one out because you're on fire for the topic, but it's really demanding to write one full chapter and then go to the next chapter. And I believe that's one of the reasons why a lot of people start books but never finish them because they start a chapter, maybe get a chapter and a half in, and then it just burns them out. I get it. Having written hundreds of books, I made that early mistake and can tell you it is not it's not the way to write a book. It's hard, very hard. So here is how I would do it instead if you're thinking about writing a book, and this is one of the strategies that will be helping people at the Author Power event to implement for their book. So you've got your book, you got your kind of scope, the idea of what you want to do in the book. You divide it up into chapters. It doesn't matter how many, maybe 12, 15, 18-ish chapters. I really actually like short chapters, so I have done books that were like 50 chapters. I prefer that. But anyway, let's say you got 12, 15, 18-ish chapters, however many you want for your book. Here is the next step. It's the secret that most people don't know or don't do, and it will make sure that you write your book faster and more easily than you even realize is possible. So once you have your chapters all laid out, then break down each chapter into sections. Could be 3, 5 to 10 sections per chapter. So if you have 15 chapters and you got 10 sections per chapter, you've got 150 sections. All right. I know that sounds like a lot, but trust me, stick with me. It will pay off in a minute. So you've got all these sections that are really just sort of like mini parts of your chapter. Um, and now here's what you do is you wake up in the morning and you grab a section and then you write that section, maybe 100 words, maybe 200 words, maybe grab your phone and record audio and then get it transcribed. That's some simple ways to do it. And that is how you can write your book. Instead of writing one chapter from start to finish and then going to the next chapter, you just write sections and you write whatever sections you feel like writing for that day. One day you might wake up and want to write this section, which is like chapter 1, section 2. Another day you're going to wake up and you're going to write, you're going to grab, chapter 6, section 12 or section 10 or whatever. And then another day you're going to grab chapter 15, section 2. You're just going to pick and choose like in a patchwork, right? You're just going to grab whatever sections you want to write, write 100 or 200 words on it, keep it real light, real simple, and write whatever you want of those. Some days you're going to write a bunch of sections. Some days you're going to only get one section done. Make it a goal to write at least one section a day and just grab whatever you feel like, and that will get your book written way faster, way faster. It works so good. I have written so many books that way because you are just kind of like grabbing what you have, what makes sense, what you feel like, and you will write the book. It's going to feel so much better. Then at the very end, you're going to gather those sections together and you're going to work with either an editor or like software like Grammarly or something. ChatGPT works really well for this too now. You're going to gather it together and you're going to get it processed and like gather all those sections together into one chapter. And sure, you'll need to like add a heading or like a transitionary sentence from one section to the next. But that makes it so much easier than trying to arduously sweat through one chapter after another. So if you're thinking about writing a book, you should just come to FuDog Group's Author Power event. Hit me up a private message if you want to know more or visit fudoggroup.com/authorpower. But if for whatever reason you can't, then use that tip to help you write your next book. All right, everyone. I hope that was helpful. Have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next video.